Mathematicians would say that this is a well-posed mathematical problem. So when we try to solve a problem in terms of partial differential equations, there are problems which are ill-posed, where the responses, looking at that, the responses do not depend smoothly on the action. That means that problems in which a little perturbation of the actions produce a large variation of the actions. This is what is called chaos. Have you ever heard about chaotic systems? They say a butterfly in China can produce an earthquake in America. That's the famous said, I think it was Mao Zedong who said that. Okay, is that true? So that's chaotic system. That's chaotic system. But in general, we are not. Our world is not chaotic. We engineers, we civil engineers, work in well-posed system. So this set of mathematical models passes some checks, and we can say that this is a well-posed system. What does that mean? That a small variation of the data produces small variations of the answer. Okay? So assuming that this is a well-posed mathematical system, look, what can we say about reactions, answers, and actions? Okay? Look, let's look at this equation. Here there are partial derivatives with respect to time and with respect to space. But look, with respect to time, the only place where there are partial derivatives with respect to time is here. You see? So the fact that I have to integrate with respect to time comes out from the fact that there is this term here. The accelerations, don't forget that these are accelerations, is the responsible. The fact that accelerations are not negligible, this is responsible for the fact that this is a dynamic system. But now let's consider a problem in which accelerations are negligible, small. For instance, if just I place my weight on the surface of this desk in that way, do you think that there are large accelerations here? Accelerations play a role here? However, if I put that, if I hit that, accelerations may play a role. In other words, maybe, it doesn't need to be so a small scale problem. Imagine that problem. If I just place some displacement, some force, and I vary it along time, but the variation of the forces is small, at a small acceleration, so at, so to speak, relatively constant velocity, okay? Then the accelerations of the responses is relatively small. There are no accelerations here, okay? The displacements, I see the displacements are small. Another thing, if I do that, then acceleration is playing a role, okay? So in the first case, the problem had negligible accelerations here, so this term can be considered zero. In other words, when I look at the problem from this point, I can say that, well, dependence on t, which comes out in here just due to that term, if the accelerations, if the actions, which are those, have variation in t, for instance, displacements or forces, which are almost constant, so the response, which have also variations in times which are constant. So that's the general way of that. So if the problem is well posed and the actions are applied slowly, so I can consider approximately that they are applied constant in time, the variation along time of the action, the second variation along the time of the actions is zero. And then, if the system was chaotic, I couldn't say anything, but then I can say that the variation of the response along time is also zero, because the system is not chaotic. So that the fact that the system is well posed means that when the acceleration of the actions is zero, the acceleration of the responses is zero. So if the accelerations of the responses is zero, specifically, the second derivative of the response u with respect to t squared is equal to zero. So that means that that term is negligible. So in many cases, and especially in civil engineering, imagine maybe a reservoir and a dam, which is just containing, the reservoir is containing the water inside, and the dam is supporting the action of this water. I mean, this dam, there are actions on this dam that can vary a long time. For instance, if the reservoir is higher or lower, the level of the reservoir, the actions on the dam, but I mean, they vary very slowly, and there is no acceleration of that. Another case would be that of a missile impacting on the dam. That would be an impact, okay? But that's not the case normally in our case. For instance, when I consider this building, and I want to design this building or a bridge, in general, actions, self-weight, traffic weight, for design, are considered producing small acceleration, so very long time, very slow, at least for design, okay? And then, according to that, the reactions, in particular the acceleration on terms of displacements, are supposed to be also small in time. So this term can be made approximately equal to 0. Another case, there is just one case in civil engineering where the problem is not quasi-static. Which one? Which one would you say? Where we have to account for accelerations. Earthquakes. Seismic engineering. In soils, in rocks, in foundations, and in the structures. In that case, the action itself is a wave that travels along ground, and then those accelerations are the real actions. Okay? In terms of imposed displacements, these displacements here, these displacements imposed in here, they are not constant or they have some acceleration, some second derivative which is not 0, and this is the real action in seismic problems. So in these cases, we cannot discard this part here. So let's consider the case in which we can discard this. So this is the case that we call quasi-static. So static means no variation along time, steady state, so to speak, and quasi means, I mean, just through a hypothesis. But if we just neglect that, how many derivatives apart from that, imagine that this is 0 by hypothesis, how many derivatives in time you see in the whole mathematical problem? None. There is no. Okay? So in that case, we don't have to integrate a long time. Okay? There is no integration a long time. Of course, that could be a dependence on a long time, because again, the actions can still depend on long time. But there is also this mathematical model here doesn't involve any integration long time. Okay? But of course, if the actions are smoothly and slowly varying a long time, but there will be a parametric dependence of the response with respect to time. But it's a parametric dependence. Time plays a role of parameter, indicating that the actions are slowly varying a long time. So that for every action, imagine that since this doesn't depend on time, I just fix time here and consider the actions at this time and I obtain the displacements at this time. I fix time here and another time, and I obtain the displacements at another, the responses at another time. But there is no time integration here. Look, if we look the problem in this set of actions, solver responses, if the actions are slow, what does it mean the actions are slow? It means that the acceleration of the actions, the dependence of the actions, the second derivative of the action with respect to time is negligible. Then, consequently, the second derivative of the answer, the responses with respect to time, should be also negligible. And then all the components, the second derivative with respect to time, twice, of the response should be neglected, so that means that the second derivative of displacement with respect to time twice, its acceleration is 0. So, in other words, whenever the actions are slow enough, although they could depend on time, but if they are very slow, we can make sure that the reactions, the response, will be also slow in time, so the accelerations, second derivative, of the reaction of the responses, typically the acceleration of the displacements, could be neglected. And then what happens? Well, it happens that in that equation here, the term acceleration is neglected. Whenever we are in this situation, we will say we are in quasi-static assumptions. For instance, if I am pressing this desk on my hand slowly, then I can say that acceleration is slow. But if I am just hitting the table, we cannot say that anymore, okay? Because my actions have an acceleration, and then the response have an acceleration, and then there is an elastic wave which propagates, and the response is not that accurate then. So everything depends on the actions. I insist, if the actions are applied slowly, the responses can be considered also acceleration-less, and then this term can be neglected. This has strong implications. Why? Because if this term is neglected, all the derivatives that appear here are now space derivatives. Of course there is time appearing here, but time is no longer an integration domain. Time is like something controlling the actions. Time is something controlling the actions, but everything, and also the responses will depend on time. But the integration as a partial differential equation would be just done in 3 dimensions, in the dimensions of space. In that case, the problem is that is the equilibrium equation, is no longer the Cauchy's equation, the general Cauchy's equation. It's the equilibrium equation. That is the causative equation, that is the geometric equation, the initial conditions drop, and we have only the boundary conditions in space. Okay? So in that case, look, time plays the role of one parameter that determines how and when the actions are applied. For instance, if I consider time and I apply slowly one force here, and one time later I apply another action, what controls when these actions are applied? Time, okay? But this doesn't change the fact that now there is no acceleration involved, and we can consider that the actions depend on time, and I just changed the time, the notation by lambda, to emphasize that now time, or this lambda, is just something that describes the action sequence, okay? So, we will understand that. Imagine that we have this cantilever, for instance, right? Imagine you have a cantilever, and probably you already know very well that when we apply a force at the end of this cantilever, we have a displacement, which is the force times the length to the power of 3 divided by 3, the elastic modulus and the inertia modulus, okay? You know that. So you have never concerned about the sequence of actions. Well, maybe yes, but in general, in the strength of materials, we say, well, we have this force and we have that action, that response. The force and the deflection, which is the response. Well, what happens is this force is not applied at once. Of course, as is normal, the force initially is 0, then it can be increased, and then can be kept constant. That is what I did when I placed my hand on this structure, and then there is nothing, then I apply all my weight on it, and then I keep it. What I've done is something like that, and time just control the sequence of application of the actions. And now, the response, of course, depends on this pseudo-time. We call that pseudo-time. It depends on that, but it depends just to say that what is the reaction would be proportional to the factor of application of the forces, which is that. So we can say that the deflection here depends on time. Yes, depends on time in the sense that is proportional to the action sequence and to the action production in that way.